Specifically when it comes to sort of like online ministries and things, how do y'all engage with them? Like, are y'all a part of any spiritual communities outside of just like consuming content? Because I know a lot of ministries put out content, but online spiritual communities, are y'all a part of anything like that? And if so, like, what's working, what's not working, what do you enjoy, what's hard about it? I would just love to hear those types of things. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back, Radical Community. We are here with another video, keeping it consistent each week, okay? And I have been telling y'all about how I'm just trying to switch up the content a little bit, do something that feels natural and not forced, while also doing it a little bit differently than how I've done it before, just to keep it fun and spicy and, you know, continue to explore in different lanes for how to accomplish the same thing, but add a little spunk, okay? And a couple weeks ago, Aaron and I did like a spontaneous vlog where I was like, okay, this wasn't planned. We weren't thinking about vlogging, but we just woke up one day like, oh, we have some cool, exciting things planned this weekend. Let's just break out the phone, break out the camera. And I was like, you know what? I enjoyed this. It didn't feel forced. So I'm trying to keep that same energy, as the people say, and bring y'all content along that same rhythm that is still informative, still bringing y'all along for the journey, but it's just different from the normal sit down and talk video. So right now, I'm about to make myself a smoothie for lunch. I'm running behind because I had the spontaneous idea to set up the camera while I was doing this. And then I'm looking at the clock like it's 12:40. I got a call in like 35 minutes, but we are going to make it happen. So today I wanted to chit chat with y'all just about some of the things that I've just been exploring with the brand. Y'all know Radical Relationship is my baby, so it's the one thing that takes up the most headspace in my mind. So just want to chat with y'all just about, you know, what I've been thinking about, how things have been going, what's been going on in my head, and all of that. So we're going to chat about this as I make my smoothie. Okay, here we go. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. Man, where to even start? So recently I started a podcasting group coaching program. If any of y'all are interested in getting into podcasting, then I recommend Stephanie Gass, Stephanie with an F, Gass with two S's. She's a Christian entrepreneur who has an online business specifically around coaching Christian women who want to build their online businesses through podcasting. We started our podcast I think it was around April when we officially launched that. And I have just felt a tug to start to move a little bit more in that direction. One of the reasons is because I think long-term podcasting is going to serve me well in terms of like keeping up with my lifestyle that I'm going towards, not just what works for me right now. And I want a family. We want and anticipate having multiple kids. And so I know that when it comes to like getting in front of the camera each week consistently in seasons like that, probably not going to be super advantageous trying to keep up with that, or super doable. So that's one thing that I'm thinking about. I'm also just thinking about how to maximize the ways that I can serve and getting in front of a microphone, you know, with some well thought out content and just going in with y'all in some really powerful ways is just my language. And yes, video as well, because that's how I started out, but just getting in front of a microphone is also really appealing to me. Where like, I don't have to care about what I look like. I don't have to set up all of this equipment. I could just get on the microphone and let the Lord use me. And so one of the things that has happened as a result of joining this group coaching program is that it's really causing me to think a lot more deeply about the audience that I'm reaching specifically through the podcast. And especially because I want the podcast to be used as a mechanism for selling, for attracting coaching clients specifically. So YouTube is also like some get to know me personality wise. So that's beneficial. But the podcasting is going to be like really going deep for the purposes of building the coaching business. And so as I'm starting to think about that a little bit more, it's prompted this question in multiple ways, just around specifically for Aaron and I, like, how do we exist individually and coexist as it concerns the things of ministry? And I've even just like looked at other women in ministry and kind of see what their relationships are like with their husbands in ministry and how they work together, but also how they keep their identity separate when like it just comes down to the wire that we don't have to do everything together, you know, but there can also be the things that we do together, right? And so just trying to really just have sober judgment, if you will, around that, and just figure out like just what our lanes look like both individually and together. And so when I think about the current way that our podcast is set up, the cover photo for the podcast is Aaron and I, and the title is A Radical Relationship, the podcast. And I do think that that has just so much power to it, right? Like to even see an interracial couple and this idea of talking about having a radical relationship. There's so many aspects to our relationship that fits the narrative, like me being divorced, him coming from a world of addiction recovery, us being different races and being vastly different with everything that comes with that, and for us to be able to find common ground in Christ and be committed to building a life together is just beautiful, and it's radical, right? But my kind of wrestle with that is that's not really what our podcast is about. It can be, but when I think about just like the brand and ministry that I've been building, that's not really what it's about. And so I think that a radical relationship with the Odoms can literally be its own thing, where we're getting into some more of those topics. But then like the things that I want to do with women and the things that he wants to do with men, those are going to look different. And so I've been updating the podcast a bit. If you also listen to us on podcast, and you may notice some of those changes already, because I think that what we're going to be able to do in the future is have both and. But for right now, I need to continue to follow the lane that I started on and really helping to cultivate these relationships with women. And overall, it's going to be so beautiful. Like I know that it is, as all of the things come together. But because I'm someone who, as an entrepreneur, as someone with vision, and I'm a builder, I very much so lean towards being apostolic, which if you look at the fivefold ministry, apostles were those that were sent out to help start the thing, and then pastors come along and they help shepherd the flock. So I resonate with that, like being a builder, being sent out on mission. And so the ideas that I get, they come all the time, and there's so many things that I could be doing. And so in this season, I'm just asking the Lord, but where does my focus need to be? Like, I think that eventually I'm going to get to all the things, but I need to learn how to build one thing at a time and make that excellent and efficient, and then start to build another thing. Whereas I'll be building like 5-6 different things at the same time because I have the idea, and it's a God inspired idea, and it's a God thing, but I need to do better about, but like, what am I focusing on in this season alone to make excellent? So I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to see what fruit is going to come from kind of scaling back a bit in some areas and taking a little bit of a different focus, which is actually just getting back to the original focus, and just seeing like how God is going to bless that, but also just what the fruit is going to be of really choosing a lane to go deeper in. And that could start to look some different ways for the YouTube channel. Right now I do still have a full-time job that I work, so my interests are still very divided in some ways, and that can be a mental struggle for me. But eventually I do plan to just be doing radical full-time. And in that, I love the idea of producing more content for you all, and for YouTube specifically, maybe producing the podcast episodes earlier in the week and then doing some more personality type content later in the week, and being able to give y'all even 2 videos a week here on YouTube. I've been going live on Facebook and YouTube, and really can see myself getting into that some more and being able to serve better in that. So I'm excited. I'm excited about the ways that God is continuing to refine the vision, and being able to, again, just like dig in deep in some key areas, which is ultimately going to help me serve well. So I would love to hear from you all just around like, what type of content are y'all usually engaging with? Like podcast, YouTube. I mean, like, clearly if you're here, you're watching this on YouTube, so understand that. But just like when it comes to sort of like online ministries and things, how do y'all engage with them? Like, are y'all a part of any spiritual communities outside of just like consuming content? Because I know a lot of ministries put out content, but online spiritual communities, are y'all a part of anything like that? And if so, like, what's working, what's not working, what do you enjoy, what's hard about it? I would just love to hear those types of things from you all, so I can better refine the messaging with that. So yeah, the journey continues. I was listening to a podcast this morning that was talking about how we are always in process on this side of heaven, and no one actually ever arrives. Like, that's not even real. We think it is, and we want it to be, and in our mind it makes sense, but like, you never arrive. There's always something else. And so I'm learning to just embrace more and more of that like, in my mind there's an arrival to the promised land, but I know even when I get there, it's gonna be something. And I'm trying to just keep that in mind throughout this. What's that for y'all? Like, what process do y'all currently feel like y'all are in? What do you currently feel like you are waiting for? What promise do you feel you're waiting for God to fulfill to you, and you're in this tension of the waiting and being faithful in the meantime, trying to figure it all out as you go? Because baby, we are all here together. Okay, so thank you all for coming along with me for a little chit chat as I make my smoothie. Let me know if y'all enjoy this type of content and want to see more of it. And it's fine if y'all like, sis, we really just like to see you sitting down talking to us. That's cool too. I want to know what works for y'all. Let me know. Until next time, I'm out. Bye, y'all.